Step outside your comfort zone and embrace new experiences. It's challenging you, making you grow, and preparing you for future challenges. Many people don't actively seek solutions. Wisdom from the past offers guidance, which is a shame because that's what it was meant for, to be awesome. A critic named Titus once said, "Fancy philosopher. Talk doesn't help folks in pain." He believed philosophy should be practical, not just about starting clothes. Of Stoicism, in this video, we'll break down Stoicism for beginners. Stoicism isn't just an old idea, it's still relevant today. Boosts your well-being now. Want to bring this ancient wisdom into your everyday life. We'll show you 9 easy steps to become more adaptable. First up, a fun activity. Life throws things our way, some beyond our control. But there's also a lot we can influence. Let's explore the difference. Instead of dichotomy of control, we can say separating things into controllable and uncontrollable. Sounds like what the Stoics called separating things into controllable and uncontrollable. A famous Stoic philosopher who experienced hardship said the key to life is figuring out what we can and can't change. That's also what makes the Serenity Prayer so powerful. Is it up to me? That's the question. So, if something is out of your hands, don't waste your time and effort on it. Focus on what you can actually affect. Life throws a lot at us, but only a small part is truly under our control. That's why Stoicism and journaling are a perfect match. They both help you sort things out, just like the famous emperor Marcus Aurelius, who wrote notes to himself to reflect on life. This journal is like my own personal space to think clearly. It helps me focus, remember things, and improve myself. There's a wise saying by Seneca, a famous thinker, about reflecting on your day. It's true, you can't get better unless you honestly look back at what happened and see how you acted. That way I can learn from my mistakes and figure out how to do better tomorrow. The pages in my journal are only for me. Becomes my journal is private. No one else sees it. I don't even look at them very often. Becomes I don't always revisit them. Putting them down helps me get better. Becomes writing it down helps me work through things, prepare for hardship. Becomes get ready for tough times. The Stoics talk about working out hard in the winter. Becomes the Stoics believed in facing challenges head on, even when things are difficult. Epictetus says that you must go through hard winter. Training becomes like an athlete training in winter. Epictetus said we should prepare for challenges. My journal is private. No one else sees it, and I don't always revisit them, but writing it down helps me work through things. Next, get ready for tough times. The Stoics believed in facing challenges head on, even when things are difficult. Like an athlete training in winter, Epictetus said, we should prepare for challenges. This means facing challenges on purpose, even making yourself a little uncomfortable. Why? Because life throws curveballs, and you want to be ready. That's the Stoic idea. They knew tough times were coming, so they practiced dealing with them beforehand, like facing a cold day with a thin jacket. They didn't waste time on unnecessary comforts for what couldn't be avoided. Not knowing what the future holds can be scary. That's why some people choose to harden themselves up, like taking a cold shower even when it's chilly, or stepping outside their comfort zone. These challenges might feel tough at first, but they actually make you stronger and better prepared for whatever comes next. even feeling overwhelmed sometimes, exercise is your secret weapon. It can really help you feel things that bug us every day, can shape how we see the world. And how we see things is pretty important. Think about what you tell yourself throughout the day. It can really affect how you feel. The Stoics believed this was the most crucial first step. For them, the world is what it is. There are no built-in good or bad things. As one Stoic said, neither good nor bad, they were leaving it open for you to decide. Our minds are powerful storytellers. We take events, big or small, and explain them to ourselves. We create a narrative, labeling things as good or bad. A hot day is bad weather, a rising market is good. But the truth is, it's just weather and it's just the market. As humans, we need to react to these things, not judge them. We use labels for convenience, but it's important to remember they're just our interpretations. The way we view challenges is like a superpower. Our thoughts about situations can make them tougher or easier. Saying things like "this is unfair" or "it's not my fault" might feel good in the moment, but they don't help us move forward. Instead, focusing on what we can do is much more powerful. This next exercise is a gift for anyone seeking inner peace in a crazy world. Remember, it all starts with how you see things. Everything changes. That's the beauty of the Stoics' ideas. My favorite exercise from them is all about impermanence. You know, the giant statues and buildings everyone thinks about. Forget those. Marcus Aurelius, the famous Stoic emperor, wasn't talking about big things. He was using the image of a simple grain stalk bending under its weight, or a grape popping when picked. That's what he meant by a furrowed brow. Even the smallest things remind us nothing lasts forever. Even someone like Epictetus, who faced terrible things in the Colosseum, might have noticed this. But here's the interesting part. Even in a harsh, awful place, he could find something beautiful. Don't you think that's amazing? It's like saying, forget the sunset. Look at this table. Isn't the craftsmanship incredible? He searched for peace in the ordinary moments of life. When things got tough, this exercise became his safe haven, a way to find calm. He'd take a step back, like looking down from a mountaintop. He imagined himself way up in space, even picturing himself with wings soaring above the earth. He said everything seemed tiny from that perspective. The leader, even though he ruled the biggest kingdom, would stand and gaze down, picturing people like ants scurrying over crumbs. He did this to remind himself of his place in the grand scheme. It was like a way to calm down and see things from a bigger perspective. You get the same feeling from a big sunset, right? It's so vast and stunning, it doesn't even seem to be trying, it just is. Have you ever felt tiny and insignificant compared to the world around you? That calming feeling of being a speck in a giant universe. A Stoic philosopher named Pierre had it, called this the oceanic feeling. It helps us feel grounded and centered, like taking a deep breath before diving back into our busy lives. Another important thing to consider is what truly matters to you. A wise Roman emperor, Marcus Aurelius, used to say that living by your values is key. The writings are actually called meditations, a kind of personal journal. He wrote much of it while stationed with the Roman army near Budapest. Interesting that these were his own thoughts, questions he pondered for himself. not meant for others to read, but his message is powerful. Pause for a moment and consider. Are you scared of dying because it means you won't be able to? That's not really what Epictetus meant. We often fear death because we think we'll miss out on things we enjoy now, like playing video games, watching funny stuff online, or hanging out with friends. But these are things outside our control. He's saying don't focus on what you can't do anymore, because that won't help. Don't fear death itself, but wasting your life on unimportant things. That's worse. Seneca put it even more bluntly. You're scared of dying, but is your life any different from being dead already? Lots of lives are like death anyway, filled with anger, sadness, and selfishness. The fire crackled, casting dancing shadows on the listener's face. Their mind wandered to the things people chase after: wealth, recognition, control. Yet, these pursuits could leave a person feeling empty and alone, a living death in their own way. Suddenly, a thought struck them, the reality of their own mortality. Facing their own ending had a way of putting things in perspective that made them question the point of chasing things that ultimately wouldn't matter on their deathbed. They realized how much these pursuits could cost them: opportunities missed, dreams put on hold, like saying, I'll start a family later, or I'll chase my dream job someday. The truth was, time wouldn't wait. We can always dream about starting that company, but right now the most precious thing we have is time. We're not fully enjoying the present because we're always focused on the future. Let's not put things off. Every day counts now for something that can really change your outlook. A new way to think about problems. It's called premeditatio malorum, which basically means expecting. Seneca, a Stoic thinker, said anything that takes away your control weakens you. Things that surprise us, stuff we don't like to consider, hit the hardest. That's why Stoics think about bad things beforehand. They prepare for the unexpected, giving them a chance to plan, adapt, and be strong when it happens. They get tough beforehand so fate doesn't knock them down. This video talks about the most important one for your happiness: loving and accepting yourself. They call this exercise amor fati, which means love what happens. You can't move forward if you're stuck fighting reality, denying it, or blaming others. The Stoics knew this. Acceptance is the first step, but there's more. Amor fati goes beyond just accepting your situation. Imagine welcoming it instead of saying, this is so bad, try this is an opportunity. It's not about saying, this sucks, but rather, this is happening, and I can use it to grow. That's how you move forward. Subscribe for weekly exercises to practice Stoicism in your own life. Many others have benefited, so why not you? Step outside your comfort zone and sign up